FlatBroke Garage. Welcome to the channel. If you're a regular, thanks for coming back. If you're new to the channel, well, I hope you stick around, and if you're a subscriber, you're the best. A big day for me, man. I'm excited. I finally got my engine back for my Falcarino project. This is a 256 cylinder that I kind of had freshened up for my 1970 and a half Ford Falcon. If you've never been to the channel before, let me tell you what this is. This is a 1970 and a half Ford Falcon, basically a Fairlane. I rescued this sitting in a junkyard, been sitting there well over 20 years. We got it running and driving. I drove it around for a year. Thing's great. It only had 56,000 original miles, but it started leaking antifreeze. Well, it turns out the antifreeze leak was the freeze plug on the back of the block. So I had to pull the engine to fix the freeze plug. So as long as that was out, I kind of shipped the engine over to my buddy Eric at J&B Speed, and he did a little bit better things to it. We got some pistons in it and just freshened the whole thing up. Whole new head, hardened seats. But let's take you around, show you what's going on. So basically, while the engine was out being freshened up, we kind of doweled up the inside of the engine bay. I did a rattle can rebuild. Yeah, like I said, all in all, it's in really good shape in the engine bay area. The engine itself is the original 256 cylinder. Right now, the block is still original, but the head is a later model head. I believe the head is a, where was the thing on here? It's a 1980 head off a 200 or 256 cylinder. I can't remember. But basically, the reason I went with this is these heads, they have a bigger intake because these intakes are cast right onto the head. So there's really not a lot of options for mods. But the later model intakes had bigger heads, bigger intake valves, and hardened seats. So that's a lot better head than what was on this engine originally. The exhaust manifold is original. Now back with the original intake, there used to be a little tube that came off the manifold that went up to the carburetor for the choke. Well, with this new EGR stuff, I had to kind of delete on the tube for the choke. So all I did was I put a self-tapper in here, and I'm going to take some high-temp JB Weld, just kind of coat it a little bit. Just I hate exhaust leaks. So that's one little thing we had to change. The vacuum ports on the other intake came off the sides. I'm going to get a 90 and put the original vacuum fittings on there. The water outlet on the original head was junk, and every other head that we had. So I have to order one of these. I think Mustang place will have that. But we don't have to worry about that right now. Got to get my clutch plate on. I'm going to finish getting some doodads put on here, and we'll get it set in there. But first, before I do that, is I'm going to pull the torque converter, and I'm going to put a pump seal on, kind of clean the converter up, because, you know, you go through all the problem, put an engine in, and, you know, your torque converter seal leaks. So it's a $3 item. Let's just change it now and hope for the best. Okay, well, I got the old transmission seal out. Got a new one here. Luckily, it's the right one. Pop that in and clean up the torque converter and stop this Valdez going on. I don't know why it is. Every time I climb inside an engine bay here, every time I get in a tight place with my GoPro to film something, the GoPro battery goes dead. It was just 40%, and it says it's dead. I think those batteries are getting tired. But anyways, I digress. Putting this new pump seal in just because, you know, it was probably the original seal in here. So I'm going to put the pump seal in. I got it started. It's square. I don't have one of them fancy seal installer things, but what I do have is a piece of PVC coupling, which happens to fit right over there. So I'm going to tappa this thing on here, but I can't film doing it because I'm holding my, because that's broke. So we're using a phone. Let me tap this on and see where we're at after that. I got the torque converter cleaned up and back in, kind of wiped all that out. Going to grab the old engine. We're going to try and stuff her in here. Shouldn't be too bad. I mean, there's not much in the way. So let's get this thing set up and in here before this battery gets worse. You notice whenever you get working on something, a project, and you're just really getting into it, like putting this engine in, and you're focused. And that's when your phone rings or somebody calls you or something like that. Or, you just get this guy showing up randomly in your driveway bringing stuff.
Special delivery from something garage.
Look at that. We got Mustang parts.
That's right.
So it's worth stopping what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
You just chuck it on the hood of the car. Right. So now.
Well, I don't want to scratch the paint.
Yeah, don't scratch the paint.
Look what I did. See what happens when you put cardboard on a Mustang? Peel the Bondo off.
So now we have parts. The daughter has to show up. We got gas tank and all the accoutrements. We got hood hinges. We got window regulators. We got a little bit of everything.
Look,
so
it shines. I can fix my.
Oh yeah. You're looking at the buffed up. Look.
Yeah, shines up nice. Look at that.
Yeah. Now, when you're going to come and help wet sand the rest of the car, right?
I got Hot Wheels to race.
But yeah, huge thanks to my buddy Alex from Something Garage for hauling me my parts down from Kentucky.
Yeah, no problem.
The parts are from the Mustang store, and he is in Louisville, Kentucky. Really great guy. His name's Steve.
Steve is.
And
good dude.
He has new and used parts. So I want to definitely say thanks to Steve for all the cool stuff that my daughter gets to put on. I don't have to worry about. So yeah, thanks a lot, Alex, man. Now
no problem. Thanks for letting me come over here and see everything.
Just when you think everything goes good, I set the engine in, literally falls right into place. Everything goes perfect. And I caught a huge mistake. I'm sure some of you guys kind of caught the mistake when I was putting a flex plate on, but yep. Do you see the mistake now? I know I was just in too much of a rush. Here's my mistake. I forgot to put the plate on. The spacer plate or starter plate or whatever you call this. I forgot to put it on. So, right after the engine nested in, I noticed it. I'm going to pull it out. We're going to redo it again. I don't think I'm going to make you sit through putting it in twice, but we'll get this put on. I'm an idiot. All right, so round 2 in the books. We got the engine back in here the second time. And hopefully this time, it's without problems. So I got the engine finally bolted up. I got the little throttle or the passing gear doodad that's part of the bolts in the back attached. Like I said, motor mounts are in. So I'm going to start working on some of the other stuff. I got the exhaust hung up. I got to put this weird exhaust hanger back on. I guess I'll start getting the top end done, alternator in, radiator back in, carburetor linkage back on, and we'll fire it up, see if she runs. So stick with me, and we'll get some more of this done. So basically all the heavy lifting is done. The engine's in, everything's pretty much snugged in. I have to finish putting plugs, cap, rotor, Pertronics in. I need to get an adapter for the intake because the original little vacuum port thing is, I don't know, was it 7/16 and that's 1/2 inch. I did find something cool though. If you see the hose here, this is the heater hose. DO, that means 1970. That's a Ford Autolite part number. This is an original heater hose, I believe. And she's got some wear on it. I'm going to replace them. But how cool is that? I mean, one original heater hose. It's still soft too. So that's a plus. I have to lengthen my vacuum port or hose for the vacuum port, because on the other intake, the earlier intake, the vacuum was over there. So just a couple little nippy tucky things. And once again, you know, when you order parts, of course they're always right. Yeah, this, no, I don't. So yeah, the hose, it's frustrating. Get it all set. A little juice. We got set to choke, but it runs. All right, now we can finish doing some stuff on it. Good sign, good sign. Well, I'm getting everything about buttoned up. I'm getting the vacuum. I got new vacuum lines. I'm getting these run over here. I got my all my throttle linkage set up for the kick down. All that's hooked up. Got a PVC in. I got the Pertronics put in. I got to cut the wires to length. Got the air cleaner all kind of painted up, so I don't know. And now after I get all this stuff looking nice, I look over at the hood hinges and they're nasty. Now I don't think the hood hinges were ever painted from the factory. I think they're just like a bare metal or anodized or whatever it is, but I don't know. I can't live with that now. So I guess I'm gonna take the hood hinges off and get some kind of a dull silver, or I don't know. I really don't want them to look painted, but I don't know. This is worse. So I'm gone nuts. I'm really not a shiny car guy, but it's starting to look good in here. So I don't know. I think maybe we'll do that. That's not good. That thing was stripped on there. we go. Yeah, it doesn't look stripped. No, no, it's stripped. Oh. I don't know. I kind of put a coat on them. It's called stainless steel. I don't know. Kind of looks like a bare metal. Maybe it's too shiny. I don't know. I should have left them. Who knows? Well, I guess it's done now, so that's one coat. We'll have to keep hitting them from about a million different angles, but it is what it is now. I don't know if I'm really happy with those or not, but wish I had a sandblasting cabinet. These would have come out a lot better, but it is what it is. Well, here we are. We're actually 2 days after the day I started the engine. The problem was I didn't have a lower radiator hose, and I couldn't even find one listed anywhere. They recommended a flex hose, and I just didn't have the heart to get a flex hose. So I did a lot of searching and cross-referencing, and I found a hose that works. So that makes me happy. So we got it full of antifreeze, and I got to trim my wires for my Pertronics. What else do we got to do? Oh, my vacuum line. I went over to the Granada that I pulled the head from that's on the engine now, and I got the vacuum line that ran off the Granada, and I spliced it, I know, it looks cheesy, into the original line that was on the car. I got some plugs for the vacuum ports I'm not using, and I think that'll work. It looks a little weird, but the air cleaner is huge. It'll kind of cover that. I got all my vacuum lines run. Oil's full, PVC is on. We're going to, I guess, fire it up. I'm going to bring it up to temperature, let it run at speed for a while, and we'll see how we do. Might have a little timing issue here. Let's see. Well, that works. Alright, well, I got it running about 1300 RPM. Just kind of a loose break-in just for the rings and the lifters. The crank is original, the cam is original. My buddy Eric said the crank and the cam were in pristine condition, but I still want to get it up to RPM, let it run for a while, get warm. So the lifters and everything get seated in. So we'll let her cruise for a while, get up to temperature, and check for leaks and drips and other nonsense, but seems to be running pretty good. Check our timing on it, and we'll go from there. Well, it's been running for a while, and thermostat's opened, but the temperature gauge
is not working. Now this gauge worked before I pulled the engine out, so I don't know if it's a sensor or the gauge died. They're gonna have to mess with that a little bit later, but we are at what, 58 pounds oil pressure at 1300 RPM, and she's hot. That's good. I had a little fuel leak here in the fuel pump. I tightened that up. That seems all right. Other than that, it looks dry. Looking good. Well, we found a problem. Nothing on the engine. Everything in the engine's good. Nothing's leaking. But check this out. No! I just blew the heater core. That sucks. So I guess I'm gonna have to loop these lines. Dang it. Put a heater core in this thing. My exhaust is blown. As you can hear now, she rattles. But it's not that big of a deal, but all right, I gotta shut this down, let it cool off, loop these heater hoses. But all in all, she's running pretty good. We're at, let's see, 780 RPM, probably about close. Timing is, we gotta give it a little more timing. But we'll get her dialed in a little more and fix this leak. We'll be back. Well, the temperature gauge in the car doesn't work, but we threw a probe in there. Barbecue probe. And the car's running. It's got a 160 thermostat. She's at 155 at the radiator. So she's not hot at all. Well, I'm definitely going to have to fix that because she's gone Valdez on me. So I think I got a loop for these lines. Dang it. It bums me out, but I don't know. At least the engine's good. So I have an old flushing tee. I mean, that should work. I'm not a big fan of these things. It doesn't seem brittle or dry rotted, so that should work just for a test drive and probably for the summer. But let's get this put on. We're buttoned up. I know I got the ugly air cleaner lid on. We haven't cleaned that up and painted that yet, but we're going to take it for a drive, see how my timing's set, see how it does, and see if we got any more leaks. There we are. The engine's in. It runs. Everything's doing good. No real leaks or spills or anything so far. I still got a bunch of things to do. I got to put the hood hinges back on. I'm not happy. I painted them. I want to clear coat the hood, the kind of patina thing. I know a lot of you guys don't like it, but we're going to kind of save on that. So I'm going to clear coat that. And I got to put the grill back in. But I just kind of want to wrap this up with the engine's in. It runs. I'm really happy with it. So we're going to get this buttoned up, maybe get another video out of it. But I also have the Mustang over here. If you guys are following along, we got a 68 Mustang. I got my daughter, kind of a daddy-daughter project. I'm going to give her the car. We're going to work on it together. So I do want to get this buttoned up and just back drive it. So I appreciate you guys following along. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you very much. We got FlatBroke Garage stickers available. The address will be in the link below. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.